Good evening. Man Cave Sports back to recap the Jekyll and Hyde 2025 Minnesota Vikings season and week 10, technically, although game number 9 for the Vikings that saw them lose to the Ravens 27 to 19, a game that I'm sure infuriated many Vikings fans, myself included. So we will dig right in. I don't feel like wasted time. Gary, good to have you back. I'm going to start with you. Obviously there's a handful of things to account for the loss, but I think the first thing I want to talk about is the penalties, particularly the pre-snap penalties, of which there were plenty, including 8 false starts. Talk about the undisciplined shitfest that we saw on Sunday.
No, I was just talking a little bit about this. It's like the only explanation I can have is that JJ's cadence just isn't easy to catch on to because you have professionals that do this week in and week out, and you cannot tell me that you're not disciplined enough to not have 8 penalties from false starts. Brian O'Neill is a consummate professional. This man knows how to run a tackle position. You can't sit here and tell me this guy is too inept to have 4 false starts. I just will not believe that. So something's got to be going on the inner works of these plays prior to snap. Something pre-snap is an issue to cause these kind of penalties and commotion. Whether it's JJ saying one thing in the huddle and then coming out and executing, seeing something, maybe jumping the gun on a read, on a call, on a last minute shift. I don't know what's going on. It's not something interiorly is going on in that pre-snap motion because it doesn't make any sense to have that many pre-snap penalties of the same kind. It's just it. I'm telling you right now, youth football, you don't have that many. And I'm being really serious. So I have a hard time doing 8 in the NFL from a line that knows that's pretty damn legit as far as experience. So it's Mike. There ain't an easy answer.
Yeah, and I think I recall hearing during the broadcast it had been like perhaps 25 years since another NFL team had that many false starts in a home game. So we're talking a ridiculous amount. Obviously, that's one of the things that caused the Vikings to lose the game. If you look at the stats in this one, it was fairly even as far as rushing yards and passing yards. However, the Vikings lost a turnover battle 3-0. Brian, talk a little bit about that. Obviously, that's a huge, you know, reason why they lost the game. And generally in the NFL, if you lose the turnover battle, you're going to lose the game. So talk a little bit about the mess that was the turnovers, 2 INTs, and a fumble by Mr. Price.
Well, I don't think it's really that big of a deal as far as like looking at it. I think it's like what Big G said. It's the cadence on that whole thing. I'll take Justin Jefferson one on one all the time, all the time. I mean, KOC said that he'll take him all the time. It's just there might be something with the cadence, and I gotta like hop on Big G's back on that. And the it's frustrating, as Joe Mauer would say. It's frustrating, but we're gonna live to fight another day.
All right. Well, the cadence doesn't account for JJ McCarthy not tucking in and running for a first down, which he had plenty of green in front of him. And the cadence does not account for Miles Price fumbling. So,
There's that. There's that. But here we are.
all right. I guess we'll live with that answer. Steve, JJ McCarthy, obviously we've talked enough about his cadence, I think, for the duration for the rest of the show. Talk a little bit about his play. Obviously, he made some good throws, made a couple of decisions that seemed a little ill-advised, including the aforementioned first interception. The second one, we can discuss that one a little bit in depth when we talk about Mr. Jefferson, but talk a little bit about JJ's performance and if this team still has confidence in him, because I thought he played decently outside of the turnovers, but some of the decision making is still a little questionable.
Yeah, I think the team has confidence in him. I think there's frustrations that are seeping in a little bit. But it's not just with JJ. I think like when you look at Jetta's getting a little bit frustrated out there. It's not it's kind of a sum of the whole where he's getting frustrated with refs and everything else. But um, yeah, he's still a little bit high. He's still throwing a touch behind. I mean, he had that third interception that got called back because who knows what a catch is in the NFL anymore. There should have been 3 picks, but um, but again, those two things are not on their own a reason to get rid of them, right? Or a reason to freak out because having him get the ball down a little bit, having him be able to get the ball out in front of the receiver a little bit better when he's when JJ is out on the run and stuff. Those are things that you can fix. Those are things that can be changed. It's not life shattering, and I think that you do see enough positive stuff where he's willing to take the shots when they're there. He's willing to take what the defense is giving him. So I think that the team isn't losing confidence in him. I think there's just some frustration with when the shots are there, when he gets high, when he's behind him a little bit. That's where I think that the frustration comes in. And it's a rookie quarterback. He's got 4 games under his belt in the NFL. Like I sent you guys an article today. I was reading on about his comparison to the rest of his draft class through 4 games. He's second, third, fourth. It depends on the stats through the 4 games. But no, I don't think the team's losing faith or confidence in him. He's a rookie essentially because he didn't play it all last season, and there's going to be some growing pains with that. So take the good, you take the bad.
Steve, can I ask
That's
a
the life.
question?
And there you have. Yeah.
I understand that mantra needs to be had with a rookie quarterback. The problem I'm having, we were sold that this team was ready for now. So my problem is now we're going to be sold when we're 4-5. Hey, we got to take it easy. This isn't a build. This isn't this is a build now team, not a win now team. But when we had a quarterback issue going into the offseason, it was no, we're going to build for now. We're a win now team. And we're not putting a win now product on the field. And now we're all supposed to take this rebuild mode. And I'm having a problem with understanding why weren't we sold the rebuild mode earlier than this? They didn't know what he was prior to these 4 games.
I don't think we're being sold something different than what we had before. I mean, we also have to take into account the amount of injuries we've had on the offensive line, the amount of injuries we've had on the defensive line. That takes it. I mean, I don't think anybody in the preseason was expecting McCarthy to go down for 5 games again this year. With a high ankle sprain and stuff. I think we would be seeing a different product in the field with those additional games with him playing. I mean, has he made improvement since his first 2 games? Yeah, definitely. The last 2 games versus the first 2 games are much different, right? Where, I mean, he outpassed Lamar Jackson this last game, which, take it as you want, but I mean, that's a statistical fact. So, I think that
When you're down, you throw the ball more. I mean, we can spin that. We can spin that all day. I just when I'm seeing a guy from the first drive to the last drive was a completely different player. His first drive, he looked absolutely brilliant. His fourth, fifth drive, he looked shitty. And it's like, I know we're going to have these ups and downs, but I'm going to tell you right now, Todd Ballman was player of the week as well. I mean, guys can look brilliant at times and really not be as great as they look. I'm just nervous that we packed all of our peanuts in that bag, and yet we're now the ship's sinking. And it's like this season's is pretty close to being unrecoverable at 4-5. You're gonna have to go on a hell of a run.
I think though that one of the things you have to take into account that it's not just all on JJ's back either though, right? Like when we look at Price fumbled twice when he's running out there, right? We've got other, all these different starts and things. Like you stated, I mean, what do you teach the kids all the time? Watch the damn ball, right? Don't listen, watch the damn ball, right? That's basic stuff. I mean, there's all these different types of things that go on with this group. And, uncharacteristically, we're seeing cracks in what we haven't seen previously from a KOC-led offense and a BFO-led defense. So,
the turnovers bother me.
Yeah, turnovers are a pain, right? And
What
and
about,
you
I think
don't
we
make
have
a
like
lot of sense as to why some
8
are
or 9
some and some are
interceptions.
others, but
Yeah, that's the
it's
part that
crazy.
bothers me. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just curious, man.
no, I get you 100% there. And I think, when we look at McCarthy's, 4 games into his actual playing career, where he's at and where the team is at, I think I have more question marks for, like we want to get on Quasi, we want to get on some of these other guys. What was with, some of these backups that they decided to bring in from the offensive line? I mean, good God, we might as well go pick up kids from ninth grade down here, to go play. That's where I have more of a problem is with the backups that they brought in and they signed for whoever thought this was a good idea. That's where I'm more annoyed.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can all agree there's a variety of things that have led to the 4-5 record uh, through 9 games. Gary, let's talk about Justin Jefferson because he probably received as much criticism as I've heard fans give him and even some media members based on his play in the game. I know that second interception, some people find him at fault there. He dropped a key pass in the end zone that would have been a touchdown. I myself am not as concerned about JJ as others, but talk a little bit about some of the criticism he's received for his play on Sunday.
You know, man, I was kind of looking at his stats for the last couple of years here, and he's not a big touchdown guy. That's never been like what he is. He's a producer between those 20s for sure. He's definitely that guy. You know, when you look at games like this, when he had a lot of opportunities and you get about that 50% success rate, the light shines bright because you lose, the struggle's the real. And should you get some criticism? Absolutely. Absolutely, it's fair. Because to be honest, you got to shine bright, man. That's the whole thing. When you're looked at as one of the 1 or 2 best wide receivers in the game, you got to produce. And I know it's tough, and I know it's not fair to put the pressure, but hey, unfortunately, when you want to be the best, you better perform like the best week in and week out. So when you do have a bad performance, there's going to be some, heavy weight coming down on your shoulders. Now, I don't know if it's more of a if JJ and Jefferson are not on the same page on some stuff. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm wondering where in the hell Allison is or Addison. Where in the hell is he? He goes blank for periods of time, and it's this whole team seems to have an issue, not just Jefferson, to be honest. I don't know, man. I'm getting frustrated. I'm Jet. I know he's frustrated, but I'll tell you what. When the damn ball touches your hands, you better catch it. That's all I'm saying. And Cooper DeJean coming around and knocking that ball out of your hands in the end zone against the Eagles, that's not Jefferson like. Well, it happened again. It's like, come on, man. This is starting to become more than one time. So you got to fix that. I'm sorry, man. It's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Mr. Naughton, as the
Yes.
tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist of the group, I got a question that's somewhat twofold. I saw there were some rumblings about the Mr. Harbaugh and the Ravens cheating and or forcing some of these false starts. I think with some of the wording that the players were using pre-snap, evidently whether or not they're valid remains to be seen. Obviously, Coach Harbaugh said there was no validity to it, but also the officials, because I know all of us every week we're talking about what the hell is a catch in the NFL anymore? Because every game I see something different from the previous. But talk a little bit about any cheating that took place on Sunday and or the officiating and how it seems to be one-sided, at least to those of us or some of us who wear purple glasses.
Well, I got to tell you, it's been a long time since we got a call going our way. I mean, we're talking 6 games. 6 games. And Randy Moss even talked about it, that it seems like every game something's going against us. Something's going for the other team with us. Wait, hang on. They don't like us, Michael.
Yeah.
They don't.
I do got
I
to
mean,
say, ironically, you of all people defended the call against Dallas Turner, which I was very pissed off at.
oh, he landed. That is totally the like the rule. Like you sack somebody and you land on your body weight full force. That I do defend that one. But I'll tell you, in the last 5, 6 weeks, we haven't gotten anything other than, and it kind of gets a little weird a little bit. Like Paul Tagliabue dies, Goodell is a little understudy. I don't know. I mean, hang on, let me take my tinfoil hat off. I don't know. It could just be the bounces and that the games have. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, let's end the discussion on this one because I just want to flush it down the damn toilet. Steve, your bad MF for the game.
Yeah, it's another one. Tale of 2 weeks, right? One week I can't I couldn't pick one out from a garbage can. The next week, then you've got a plethora, you got a whole bowl of puppies running around, and you're all happy and excited because you want to play with all of them. And then this week, you're like, oh my God, which one doesn't stink the worst? So my one that does not stink the worst out of this whole passel of players is one Mr. Jalen Naylor. One of the few only bright spots of that 2022 draft. Mr. Jalen Naylor, 5 catches, 124 yards, a touchdown, 62-yard, reception. Jalen Naylor has been showing out pretty decently the last couple of weeks here, but made a clutch catch last week to help seal that game against the Lions. He was showing up big in this game as far as being able to make try to pick up some of the slack from Jefferson's rough outing and Addison's kind of Houdini act there. So Mr. Jalen Naylor, Mr. Speedy, he's done some big things for us in the past. That long 90-some yard touchdown Jefferson had last year, who laid the key block, Speedy coming all the way down the field to do it. He's put in a lot of work for this team, and he showed out this week. So Mr. Speedy, Mr. Jalen Naylor, our bad MF for the game, 5 catches, 124 yards, and one very good touchdown.
Good. I like it. I agree. All right, gentlemen, this Sunday's upcoming tilt is at home versus the 6-3 Chicago Bears, who continue to impress, and we're looking up at them as well as the other teams now in the standings in the NFC North. So I'll just throw this out to the group. Any predictions on this Sunday's tilt? I know JJ played a decent fourth quarter against him in the opener, and ironically, through 4 games, Mr. McCarthy does not have a win at home yet. So both wins being on the road against NFC North foes. But luckily for the Vikings, as they find themselves in a bad position at 4-5, they have done well in the NFC North. So I'll just throw this out to the group. What are you expecting to see on Sunday?
I'm thinking that to borrow some hockey terms, we're not getting the puck luck. We're gripping the stick kind of tight. We're not things aren't quite bouncing our way. So I'm thinking that's got to turn, right? The horseshoe's got to land on us at some point in time. And I'm looking at us. It'll be a tight game. I think it's gonna be a 1-score win for us. Nothing comes easy for us, and I think that Mr. Ben Johnson is going to come out and try to punch us in the mouth right away. Don't let JJ McCarthy have success in the early, the first 15, 20 scripted plays. But I think we're going to see a resurgence of the ground game and get back to that offensive line mauling some people, and let's go. So I'm going to go 1-score win Vikes.
Gary?
I tell you what, we better learn how to run the damn ball. The guy had a guy running the ball at 5 yards a clip, and you give his ass 9 carries. Unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We are just like an open book. Pass on first down, we'll run on second down. This has got to be a game where we come out, establish the damn run, and we have to stop the run. Ben Johnson wants to set up the run. Why? Because then the pass opens up. It's a pretty damn simple concept. The Vikings better make a statement this game and all about ground control. You better be able to run the damn ball, stop the run, and you better win the game. That's what's got to happen. I hope to hell we got on the right side of that. We win by at least 3 points.
Yeah, and I do have to say the run defense has looked a little better the last couple of weeks, and against some stiff opposition in
Yeah.
Indy, as well as the two-headed monster in Detroit. So I mean that is encouraging.
Mhm.
I think overall the defense didn't play that horrible last weekend. So I look for decent things out of them on Sunday. Be naughty. Close us out with your prediction for Sunday's tilt against the Bears.
30-23 Vikes. Let's go.
All right. Very detailed in that. But hey, I like it. It's a prediction.
I love it.
All right, gentlemen. I appreciate you. Man Cave Sports out. We will be back next week, hopefully highlighting a Vikings victory to get them back to 500 and back in the thick of things. And the way the season has been, I think it's going to happen just because it seems every other week is one degree or the other, man. It's a roller coaster season and we're here for it. So appreciate everybody watching Man Cave Sports out. We will see you again. Skol Vikings.